They're blasting down highways at 100 miles per hour, weaving through traffic like it's a video game. Tires scream as they drift around cops, engines roar in the middle of the night, and somehow these guys are behind the wheel of cars worth 70 grand, 100 grand, sometimes even more. But here's the truth nobody wants to say out loud. Most of these cars aren't earned. They aren't bought the honest way with hard work and paychecks. They're stolen, scammed, or forged into existence in ways that sound like something out of a heist movie. Today, we're breaking down exactly how street racers really get their expensive cars illegally, and why the fast life is built on a foundation of crime. Think about it. The average young guy in his 20s can't just casually drop six figures on a Mercedes AMG. Even a used BMW M3 costs more than most people make in a year. So for these racers, the game was never about saving up or being patient. They're not waiting for promotions or paychecks. For them, the only way to get behind the wheel is to skip the entire payment process altogether. No financing, no savings, no legit paperwork. Just shortcuts straight into the driver's seat. The number one method is simple: theft. But don't picture some guy smashing windows with a crowbar and twisting wires like in old movies. That's ancient history. Today, car thieves are basically hackers. They use electronic OBD plug-in devices that can reprogram a brand new key in seconds. Relay attacks that hijack your key fob signal from inside your house, tricking the car into unlocking itself. Even specialized software that rewrites an ECU like it's nothing more than an app update. One moment your car is safe in the driveway, the next it's gone. Silent, smooth, efficient. And once that car disappears, it doesn't just stay hidden. It either goes straight into the hands of the racer, or it's scrubbed clean with fake plates and forged documents before tearing up the streets at night. Another method? Financing fraud. On paper, it looks totally legit. A luxury car financed through a dealership. But the person buying it isn't real. The IDs are stolen, the credit files are fabricated, and the address is a ghost location. The racer drives it straight off the lot, engine purring, paperwork stamped, but when the first payment never shows up, the bank starts chasing shadows. By the time they realize the account was fake, that car has already been chopped, cloned, or disappeared into the underground racing circuit. And here's the thing. Stolen cars don't stay looking stolen for long. That's where paperwork comes in. Criminal networks are masters at creating an illusion of legitimacy. They clone VIN numbers from cars that already exist, copy license plates from identical models, and suddenly a car that should be flagged as stolen looks completely normal to anyone who checks. To the untrained eye, that BMW M3 looks like it rolled right out of a dealership, but in reality, it's a phantom, a clone, hiding in plain sight. Not every racer needs a full stolen car. Some only need the guts. Chop shops tear stolen vehicles apart, stripping them down piece by piece. Engines, transmissions, turbos, rims, all disappear into the underground market. And that's how racers build cars that are monsters on the road, but cost a fraction of what they should. A car might be legal on paper, but under the hood, the heart of it was ripped from a stolen machine. There's also the import game. Cars stolen in one country don't just stay there. They get packed into shipping containers disguised as used parts or scrap metal and sent halfway across the world. By the time they reach their destination, all the tracking numbers and identifiers have been wiped away. That's how some street racers get their hands on rare imports, European beasts or Japanese legends, cars you'd never legally see on local roads. They don't show up at dealerships, they show up out of nowhere, ghosts of the black market. And then there's insurance fraud. On the books, a car gets totaled. Maybe it's staged as stolen. Maybe it's set on fire. Maybe it's wrecked in a crash that wasn't even an accident. But behind the scenes, another car is being built. Stolen parts, salvaged shells, forged IDs. To the system, that car is dead. But in reality, it's reborn as what racers call a ghost car. A machine that technically doesn't exist, but still roars down the highway at night. And none of this happens in isolation. These racers aren't lone wolves. They're plugged into entire networks. Car theft rings, document forgers, chop shops, smugglers, hackers. It's an industrial-scale black market, with every role filled. One guy steals, another cleans, another ships, another sells, and at the end of the pipeline, a racer climbs into the driver's seat and lights up the street. It's an underground economy, and as long as people crave speed, status, and that fast life, the supply chain isn't stopping. Not every car in the street racing scene is ripped straight out of a driveway. Sometimes it starts with a handshake at a rental counter. It's called a rent and run. On paper, it looks completely normal. The customer shows up with an ID, a credit card, and a signature. They drive off in a BMW M4 or maybe a Mercedes AMG, supposed to return it in a week. But here's the trick. The ID is fake, the credit card is stolen, and the return date never comes. By the time the rental company realizes what happened, the car is long gone. Plates swapped, VIN cloned, and the racer is already flying down the highway in a car that technically still belongs to Hertz. These scams are powered by fake documents. Entire underground markets exist for forged driver's licenses, stolen credit card data, and fake insurance records. To a rental clerk working a busy shift, everything looks legitimate. The software accepts the payment, the system clears the ID, and the customer drives off smiling. But that smile hides the fact that the car is about to vanish into the illegal racing scene. It's one of the easiest, cleanest ways for a racer to get behind the wheel of a six-figure machine. And it doesn't stop at rentals. Leasing companies are another gold mine. Here's how it works. A racer sets up a fake identity, complete with credit history and proof of income. They apply for a lease on a $100,000 car. The leasing company approves it, thinking they're dealing with a wealthy professional. The car is delivered, paperwork signed. But instead of years of monthly payments, there's nothing. Within weeks, the identity goes dark. The bank chases ghosts while the car is already deep in the underground. Rentals and leases are supposed to be safe, controlled, and traceable. But in the underground world, they're just another weakness to exploit. Why steal a car off the street and risk alarms when you can walk into a showroom, smile, and drive away with the keys, all thanks to fake names and forged documents? So how do street racers really afford expensive cars? The truth is, they don't. They steal them, scam them, forge them, and build them out of pieces torn from other people's rides. It's fast, it's flashy, and it's a life built entirely on crime. The only question left is, would you risk prison time just to live that fast life, or stay on the sidelines and watch the chaos from a distance? Thank you for watching my video. I really appreciate the time you spent here. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see you in the next one.